When we talk about teams you don't want to face, of course, one team comes to mind, that's the Golden State Warriors. And we all know about the Warriors, so what's the point of even talking about them, right? We all know they're probably going to get to the NBA Finals, but it's more important talking about the little stories, the stories that we don't really talk about as much. And that's, of course, one story that I feel like is going to be a big factor this playoffs coming season is the scariest team in the NBA, and to me, that scary team is the Denver Nuggets. Right now, the Denver Nuggets are sitting at 9-1 or number 1 in the Northwest Division. We know what their team is made of. You got guys like Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Paul Millsap, Will Barton, Trey Lyles. I mean, you also have guys that are probably coming back from injury relatively soon, and guys like Isaiah Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. So this team is really stacked for the future, and it's the reason why they were able to reach and take a guy like Michael Porter Jr., who may have the back injuries, but if he's able to recover and be healthy, that could be a big gamble, a big high risk, high reward type of situation with that team. But what's really interesting about the Denver Nuggets is really not in their point guard play or their shooting guard play, because we know that those two guys, and I'll talk about it a little bit later in this video, how I compare those two guys. But the main nucleus, the core guy in this team is, of course, Nikola Jokic. And like I talked about with the point guard and shooting guard, they're not the guys that are leading the team in assists. It's actually Nikola Jokic at 7.7 right now. And that's absolutely ridiculous, thinking that your center can have more assists than your guards. But in today's NBA, where we have the modern day big man, a guy that I wish Karl-Anthony Towns would model his game around or even try to simulate or be like, and that's Nikola Jokic. Jokic is, of course, a great rebounder at 10 rebounds per game. He's a guy that also gets 7.7 assists per game. I'm not sure about his points per game. If I look really closely, I believe he's probably averaging about 17 points per game. So he's a little bit below the guards, but at the same time, that's crazy to think that this big Nikola Jokic, a guy that was drafted in the second round, a guy that no one paid any attention to, is just destroying the league in terms of being a big man. I would love to see when the Denver Nuggets play the 76ers, because I would love to see Joel Embiid versus Nikola Jokic again. That will be an awesome, very hyped up match. And I know if you're an NBA hardcore fan or even a casual fan, you will enjoy this game a lot because of the antics that Joel Embiid brings, and also his great talent and skill. But you also get a guy who's a little bit more quiet and reserved, and that is, of course, Nikola Jokic, and that will be a very good battle to watch. But I think another thing that also makes this team go round is their guard play, and I'm going to talk about it now. I believe that these two guards are simulating the Portland Trailblazers model of having two excellent guards play with one another. But what's interesting and cool about these two guys is that they have a whole team that can really support them and really give them the type of day that they need. I mean, when we talk about guys like CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, yes, they are very excellent, talented guards, but they don't assist the rock. They don't play a lot of defense, unlike Gary Harris, who's had 1.2 steals per game. This guy, of course, the defensive guy that I love and watch playing, he's a guy that will definitely lock people up. And he's also a guy that right now is not really shooting the three ball very well, but he's a very 36% three-point shooter. So I think Gary Harris will come back. But Jamal Murray last night against my Boston Celtics, as angry as I am that they lost, and as angry as Kyrie Irving was throwing the ball up into the crowd, at the same time, this team right here has a core nucleus that really could solidify the Western Conference, and why right now they are 9-1 and potentially could be a top 4 team going into the playoffs next year, in the 2019 comes around, because of how excellent these guys are playing right now. Obviously, it's just the beginning of the season. It's only been 10 games, but these 10 games kind of put an imprint or stamp of what you want your team to be, right? Right now, the Lakers are still trying to identify, trying to find themselves. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets, since last year, since missing the playoffs, being angry about it, having a guy like Paul Millsap really be the team leader, the team veteran, to help this team come together and say, you know what, guys, we may have missed the playoffs last season, but next season, it's going to be ours for the taking. And they are taking it by storm. This is what I wanted the Minnesota Timberwolves to do last season. Take the league by storm, be on this huge run, but of course, situations occur with the Timberwolves, but we're here to talk about the Denver Nuggets and how they are able to take the Bulls by the horn. They are the ones that grabbed the brass ring when they said, who's going to be a team in the Western Conference that's going to step up to the Lakers? Who's going to be a team that steps up to the Golden State Warriors? Who is going to be that team? And right now, the Denver Nuggets are grabbing the bull by the horn, and they are showing you what they want to do and how they feel, especially once Boogie Cousins come back, how they can combat the Boogie Cousins, Golden State Warriors, Hampton 5 team with this team right here. This will be a very interesting matchup to watch. I know the Utah Jazz gave them, and that's of course the Utah Jazz, the Golden State Warriors, they gave them a good match, but I also want to see what the Denver Nuggets are able to do, because if the Denver Nuggets are able to at least be competitive, if we're seeing that they can at least hold their own, then I'll be very excited and very interested in the NBA playoffs for the Western Conference, just because I think the Denver Nuggets, although they may not win, this time. I believe that they have the tools and the capability of winning maybe the next year on out. You know, it's going to take baby steps, right? They didn't make the playoffs. They're probably going to make the playoffs this year. I predicted that they will, but only as the 8th seed. But they could be, like I said, potentially top 4 if other teams are not careful, like the LA Lakers. If they're not careful, this team could definitely be a top 4 team, and potentially those two teams, the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, could face each other in the first round, and that is going to be an interesting watch, especially who gets the home field advantage, because if who gets home court, that I believe is going to win that game. And if it's a 4 or 5th seed where the Denver Nuggets are 4, the Lakers are 5, then the Lakers are probably going home early, and I don't think LeBron's had an early exit since his, early season in his career. But that is just my opinion of the Denver Nuggets, guys. What else do you guys love about the Denver Nuggets? Are you guys a fan of them? Are you not a fan? Is there something that worries you about the Denver Nuggets? Or do you think that this is a team that potentially could dethrone the Golden State Warriors, maybe not this year, but next year? And also, guys, who is going to be your top 4 teams in the NBA playoffs? I would love to know your guys' opinion in the comments down below. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And guys, like I said, we're trying to get to 1K, so if you guys could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, to make sure you don't miss our awesome content like we have here today. And also, guys, if you have some more constructive criticism, I would love to know in the comments down below, just so I can improve this channel, help this channel grow as we're trying to get to 1K. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.